Good morning. Just going to do an update here since it's been a couple days since I've done a video, and I'm going to go over a couple different stocks here. I'm just going to look at TD as it is having a kind of a good couple days. Just going to start here on a monthly time frame and talk about some of the different things that might be resulting in some of this. So we can see here on the monthly time frame that we broke out of that parallel channel amidst the COVID-19 outbreak, and the world's still kind of going through the mess. I mean, I know here in Canada, jobs are shut down, so I'm not going to work as of now. So a lot of people are at home. The economy is kind of grinded to a halt, but there's been a lot of money being printed. So with the government providing that stimulus, that's likely what we're seeing right now. And I guess it's just a matter of like how much can it be held up. So we'll just continue to look on to a shorter and shorter time frame here. We can see that the weekly, well, here's the first little indicator with the weekly. The MACD has shifted a little bit up. It's still kind of forming. The week hasn't ended. The momentum here on this aspect hasn't come down. Um, it's kind of muddy in here. Just seeing as we've had like the starts and close, but a lot of volatility, you could say. Looking at the daily here, again, it's kind of creates a little bit of a messy picture to look at. I'm just going to try to remove some of this stuff here, see if we can get a little bit. And I guess when it overlaps with the volume there, can kind of make it even tougher to look at. So you can see what we're looking at here. It's just kind of a massive price action. I mean, it's doing some figuring out, I would say. Some general places just to watch right now, because you got to have both views on anything, and I use that as a life motto. I mean, you always want to take both sides of the equation and see what it's meaning, see how it plays out, and keep on reacting as new evidence unfolds. So as much as I was extremely bearish, I mean, we'll see what the government will do here. I mean, it's going to be artificial rally, but it's just kind of a dangerous time to be playing around for an inexperienced trader. But we can still do some of this general stuff and just say, hey, right here on the 13th of March, we got a point about, let's say, 61. 61.15, I guess that would be some of that support there, but I mean, realistically, I mean, there wasn't too much of a struggle right here, so there's not very much, I would say, resistance for this to break through here. I mean, it could break right through. I mean, is it going to challenge this and continue to fall to the downside? I mean, that's going to be another topic, but I feel like this would probably be serving as higher, a more realistic, let's say, resistance, because when we look at these candles, this is just saying like when it starts and when it stops, when it starts and when it stops, when it starts and when it stops. Um, so with these tails, these are more indicative of a struggle between, well, everyone likes to say the bulls and the bears, right? So the bears are the ones that sell and the bulls are the ones that buy. So right here, we can see that the bears had a pretty huge push down to the bulls. The bulls pushed all the way up and they just got rejected all the way back down here. You could say that the bulls were struggling to buy up here and the bears were pushing it down. So right in here, you can think that there's been a lot of conflict of price action, and in here too a little bit. So I think in here to here we're going to see a little bit more struggle, at least in the daily sense. I mean, you could say that there's quite a bit of resistance all over the place here, so it's not a very clear place to trade. Yeah, I mean, I don't really like how this looks, and there's not really any clear aspects here. I mean, we'd have to continue to break this down to see if there was a little bit more detailed with any pivots So this chart's looking a little bit more how you ride up this kind of angle and have it fall down. I mean, this is just like a square of price action. I mean, it's pretty interesting to look at. But it's not crazy to have a little pump up here and then just to roll back on down. And you never know how much this could go up and down. So looks like I could have made a little bit more. I mean, who knows how much this could pump up here right now. But I figured I'd just take a look because hindsight's always 2020. And as of right now, I mean, yeah, if you only knew that would be the bottom, like how do you know? Because as of now, we're still making lower lows. So we'll see where this ends up stopping, wherever this ends up, let's say creating the crest or the peak here of this wave, and see if we are going to come down and make lower lows. If the government didn't have such control of the money, it would be guaranteed. But now, because they can print billions or trillions of dollars, you never really know because they use that money to buy TD stock or S&P stock or whatever maybe they'll buy ETFs or whatever they do, but they're gonna buy these businesses stock with money that they print out of thin air just to like save the market. So it's I don't know whether you want to be grateful for that kind of stuff or be a little bit more pessimistic for the long-term ramifications of doing such actions because money doesn't come from nowhere, right? I mean, and every time they print more money, the money in your wallet is worth less. So that's what people don't realize, that when we all get $1,000, I mean, all of our money that we already have just got that much more worthless. So, oh, looks like we have it. Oh, we have it pumping up here. It'd be really interesting to see if we can get some rallies, and wouldn't that be crazy if they just pumped it back up to these prices? I mean, I guess you never know. There could always be a little bit of a resurgence up here, but looks like we broke through that one right there. So the next one I would place would be probably right about here, about 62. So that's I guess that's pretty good for the people that still hold. For me, yeah, I got out about here. I mean, we did have a pretty good continue to the downside, and then the last couple of days I've been filling out my unemployment insurance, to be honest. I mean, and it looks like, well, when they did that stimulus, this is the next couple days here, so we'll see how much of this artificial money injection will be able to hold up, or people are going to take this opportunity to dump their bags again. Um, but regardless, I mean, it's good. I mean, I don't want to see. I'll be okay if, let's say, we have a big surge in here. It'll be a good experience. I mean, yeah, it'll be a lot of experience, but the economy's still shut down here in Canada. I mean, the only place that I know of that is kind of back to normal is, China maybe, but do you really trust Chinese news? I mean, they obviously didn't really let the world know the extent of how bad it was initially, and for all we know, they could just be doing fake news that everything's back to normal. And I mean, what is the possibility of a second wave? I mean, I don't know these things. I mean, I'm not certain, but I'm more hopeful for, hey, going back to work, getting the economy back going, and we will regain it. I mean, it'll just be how long. I mean, for here in Canada, schools are still shut down for, well, the rest of the year. They shut down the schools. I mean, work's planning to be shut down for weeks, if not months. So, is this the bottom of this thing? I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd want to see some actual movement here to get us a little bit of indication or confirmation that we are just having a reversal. But this is where a lot of people just like kind of lose faith in the market if it does jump up here and it's just prop back up. I mean, I wouldn't just completely abandon the markets altogether because less and less and less people historically, if we're looking, I looked at someone doing a chart and it wasn't TD, but it was like the S&P 500, but every time that there's one of these drawbacks, a portion of the whole population just leaves the market forever, indefinitely. So there might have been 65 of the population playing, then there might have been 60, and here I could imagine we're going to drop out 5% of the public just because we had one single bar drop down this low. And it was so volatile so fast that people just, people aren't putting their money into these expecting that kind of volatility. They're looking for stability. And if they wanted to play like this, they'd be in Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, that's where you don't want to be the people that jump out of here and never ride the gains back up this far. It's just a matter of, you don't want to be, for my opinion, I mean, I don't want you to buy every time that it goes down right here. It's not bad if you're long-term investing in a time frame of 10, 20, 30 years. But for me, like I guess once you break out of this downward trend, like that's kind of a good indicator that maybe we're jumping out of this. And I'd much rather wait for some type of confirmation that, hey, we're actually, we're out of this thing. And then you could buy it, like, let's say right here, and then have some type of stop loss here. And then you could erode this whole wave there. You could erode, let's say right here, well, maybe to right there. We got a 2x, it's 2.15x. But yeah, it's always, when you look at here, let's say that same spot, yeah, you're looking at 3. So you're looking at another 2 times gain, buying at the very bottom, which no one does. But you can still minimize your losses, and you can still get back in on these markets once they kind of break. And you could use that still right here too. Let's say it just breaks that downward trend again, right there. It breaks the trend, and you could say it gets confirmation that it's broken it right there, and then you could erode it back up to there. How far does it go up? Well, it depends on your trading strategy if it's just a long-term hold, but if you're looking just for more swing trading gains, I mean, every time it breaks up here, you could have just said that, okay, I'm going to put my next support right there, and then as the price continues to move up, it doesn't fall past this little, let's say that little support. You can see these little wicks. I'd use that as support. You can bring it up here, and then once we break here, you could say, okay, I like that support right there. You could bring up your stop loss right there, and then we got some more action. And then every time it goes up, you can do something like that. You might have brought it up somewhere like here too, and you would have got stopped out, but you would have been close to the end, and you would have got a decent amount. I mean, there's different ways to do that kind of stuff, and I don't do a lot of that. There's different opinions. I mean, some people say if you take profit, then you're doing okay, but you don't want to take less profit than you need to, especially if you're doing more trading. So a good little way is, as we have these upward movements, and you can see clearly defined, let's say, tops, you want to use more like these. So right here is a good one right there. This would be a good support to say if we break this bigger V, well, you can see we fell right through there. So this one here, I mean, it's pretty tough because, well, you can see maybe it got supported right there. But yeah, right in here, somewhere right here, I mean, what a nasty wick. So here on the daily, yeah, I mean, oh, where was it? All the way up here, I mean, I don't think there was anything too definitive that you would say. Like maybe yesterday, you could have said, okay, I'm buying in at 51.50 and kind of said in this one. But yeah, neither here nor there. I mean, I just wanted to look at TD because, yeah, I could have been up a couple bucks here, but regardless, just another little video of TD, just like hindsight 2020 here. But yeah, this is still pretty questionable for me. I'm not really sure what this is going to do. I mean, it's moving all over the place. It's not natural free market movement right now. It's definitely stimulated by the government, but yeah, it's just a matter of like, are they gonna just pump it right back up? I mean, what Texas, what are they gonna do here? Nobody, nobody in my world knows. Somebody knows, but it ain't you or me. Anyway, I'm just gonna call this a video here with the TD one, and I'm gonna make a different one. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.